these rats, we don't have that, they don't basic, it's no big deal. Well,
Welcome to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone. We're live inside Muscatine Hy-Vee on 2nd Avenue in Muscatine, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Now, here's Tony Tone.
Here we go, friends. Are you ready for the weekend? It's Hy-Vee Today. This is Tony Tone, and I went to bed a lot later than I normally would, so I just want you to know that. But luckily, I work at a place that has a Starbucks. Let me get this shameless plug out of the way for this cold foam cascara. I don't have to zoom in. It's okay. Lord knows I don't want you to see my wrinkles under my eyelids. But, yeah, that's really nice. Last night I went to see Avengers Infinity War. It's a big, long movie with a bunch of different characters. And, you know, I'm not trying to undersell it. It was enjoyable. It's just long, and a lot of stuff happens. And when Batman showed up, I was like, what? Obviously, Batman would not show up. It's a Marvel DC thing. Anyways, couple things going on today that I want to just touch on in the open. So yesterday we had Tim Dwight, former Iowa Hawkeye, former NFL player, on the show. And then yesterday afternoon, we had former Iowa Hawkeye and hung out with Bobby a couple different times over the years. He's never had the ring. And then yesterday, it's just on his finger, like no big deal, just championship ring. You want to hold it? I freaked out. I grew up outside Chicago. I remember those teams. I'm not prepared to hold that ring. It was like Lord of the Rings. Look at that. Look at the size of that thing. I have giant sausage hands, and that ring was humongous. He just had it on. Can we go to the one other picture of the ring? I just want the scope of this to be seen by people. So I held it, and it was weird. I didn't try it on. Look at that thing. What he said was cool, though, was the Bulls organization in 1992 took the top part of that ring and made it into necklaces for all the players' wives, girlfriends, and their moms. Hopefully the players did not have wives and girlfriends, but they made those into necklaces, so that's pretty cool. Chef Tess is grabbing some. Hi there, Judy. All right. I thought something was going on under my chair. Thank God we don't have the floor camera on. There was just a package of crap. I don't even know. Chef Tess, what was that?
It's whenever somebody needs the petite rye.
The petite rye, okay.
Filming, I have to sneak it to them. So
Yeah, it's
right
this
here.
stuff, of course. Yeah, it's this stuff right here. So Chef Tess just handed over the rye bread,
Yes,
the
I did.
cocktail bread, and that just happened. What are you working on this morning? I saw butter, obviously. You're making some butter.
Yes. So that garlic butter is for, can you hear me, Chad?
Do we have her on the mic? Okay, cool.
Yeah? Okay. So the garlic butter is for the shrimp boils that I'm making.
Nice.
We're finally into
Okay.
grilling season, so we do like a shrimp boil, a Louisiana-style shrimp boil for two people.
Perfect.
You just throw right on your grill. It's awesome if you've never tried it.
Love
so
it.
we're going to get some of those out today. And then I'm working on a couple other items for seafood department. Making
Cool.
another batch of that marinade that I made yesterday.
All right.
Some salmon and some shrimp today. So we've got that all over the meat and
Perfect.
seafood department. And yeah, I think that's it for now.
All right. shrimp boils look really good.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, we'll check back in just a few. If you need me to sample anything, piece of garlic, keep a vampire away, you never know. Our first guests are here from Team Staffing in Muscatine, Charity Garrison and Marcy Metzger. How we doing? Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's go time, ladies.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, I'm so nervous. I've never done this before. How are things? Of course, I've done this a couple times. How are things at Team Staffing, which is conveniently located not that far from where we are right now, Lake Park Boulevard, across from Happy Joe's?
That's correct.
How are things going?
Very busy. We are extremely busy right now.
Good.
Lots of openings, lots of job orders, so keeping busy.
It's amazing to me, Marcy, the amount of people that y'all have employed throughout Muscatine at this very moment. Like, there's people that woke up this morning, went to a job that they got through Team Staffing. I mean, it's over 1,000 people, right?
Absolutely.
Like,
yes.
is it easily over 1,000? Should I be saying it's 2,000?
I would
Collectively, across our offices, yes, it is over
Wow.
1,000 people.
That is incredible.
And we now have locations in Missouri and in Wisconsin, which are brand new. We've only been Iowa-based prior to that.
Oh my gosh.
We're definitely
So
expanding.
exciting.
Yeah, it's super exciting.
Because as it turns out, friends, people need jobs, and they
Yes.
need good jobs. And if you're watching this and you're like frustrated with the job that you're in, that's where people at Team Staffing come into play. I mean, it's really that simple. I think it's that simple, at least. I mean, I follow you on social media. I see the postings. And then is it really just a matter of people like being proactive, making a call, or just showing up to the office when you're open?
Yeah, both. A little bit of both.
Okay.
We'll communicate with them on the phone, and a lot of times we'll have them come in, and sometimes we can orientate them right there and get them started either that day or the next. So and a lot of positions are pretty fast acting.
So you could literally see an opening, walk over, get a ride over, drive over, and then start work the next day, or the same. You're telling me the same day you could go to work?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like a superhero strength. I did
We
not
are.
have a job, right? How
We're
are you
super
not?
women, yes. Wonder Woman, yep.
I mean, there's some super guys that work there too, right?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah. The guys are outnumbered.
They are outnumbered. But we
yeah.
treat them just like one of the ladies.
Yeah.
You know,
I think what you do on a daily basis is fantastic. I wonder though, like you have, like what's the ratio like at the moment? Like are there several good openings and you need people to come through the door, like, or are the openings not that many and you have more people? Where are we at, like, as of this week?
I mean, collectively across all of our offices, we definitely have more positions available than we have
Okay.
people. The job market has exploded over the last, 12 to 24 months.
Sure.
And so there are more positions, it seems like, than we have qualified people. So I think that definitely if you are looking for a job, then don't discount a temp agency
Sure.
as a place to start, because there's good opportunities to start as a temp and then progress into something different,
Yep.
or to the opportunity to try different positions, because not every
Right.
job is for every person.
That's a
And so
great point.
we offer that flexibility of maybe trying a job, and then if it's not working out, if you communicate with us, then we're willing to see about placing you on another position. But communication is truly the key there in order for us to continue to work with somebody, and
Yes.
not just, burning a bridge and not going in, or
Because as important as it is for the individual that you're placing in a job with a company, it's also super important for the company that's taking on that individual via team, because you have to have that balance, right?
Right.
It's got to be a good fit for the person that's going to show up to work every day, and then certainly it's got to be a productive role for the companies that you serve.
Absolutely.
And Team
Right.
Staffing works with a lot of local companies, from large to relatively small.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
the scale varies, doesn't it?
Yes, 100%. I mean, we have so many different openings that go from, and different sizes of companies that employ hundreds of people, larger
Sure.
companies in Muscatine. We do work with HNI and with Raymond, and locally here in town, OFC. We also work with companies out of town like HWH and Wilton Precision Steel. And then again, we have offices in different markets, the Quad Cities, Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, Mount Pleasant, Burlington, Fort Madison. So
I almost look at it like you're a scout for a Major League Baseball team, and you're out there looking for
the best players.
Yeah, the best players.
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
Exactly.
And sometimes those players maybe walking off the street, and you're like, "Oh my goodness, you're perfect for this." But then other times you really got to get out there and find them. So, yeah, I think for people that are going to watch this, whether you're with us live or on the rebroadcast tonight and this weekend, like even if it's not you watching this, I'm talking to you right now. If it's not you, you're like, I got to find a job. you probably know somebody
Right.
that could benefit from taking that next step, right? Getting that
Absolutely.
next position that's going to help them.
Right.
So you just got to pass along the info. You got to share the love, right? And a lot of times, you know, the majority of us can be kind of self-centered, myself included, but boy, if you see something on like a team staffing Facebook or Instagram and you're like, that would be perfect for my cousin or,
Absolutely.
you know, your brother, your sister, just let them know, right?
Well, the referral program is the number one way that we get people in the door.
Okay.
So when we put somebody to work and then they refer a friend or a family member,
Sure.
we're going to pay them once that person has worked for us for
Okay.
100 hours.
Wow.
So if you
That's
refer
awesome.
a candidate in and you're working for us,
Mm-hmm.
then after that person, we get them a job anywhere. After they've worked 100 hours, which is approximately 2.5 weeks, we're going to
Sure.
give you, $50 just for referring that person in, and that potential is unlimited. So if you refer, 10 people, you're going to get $50 times 10. So the referral bonus is huge, and we're currently trying to, market different ways to get people in our door, like
Sure.
going to more high schools. We just did a MCC or a career fair at the Muscatine College or the Muscatine High School.
Yes.
On Wednesday, we've
With
done one at MCC.
The mayor. So yeah,
exactly.
you're getting in front of a variety of age groups,
Right.
We went to the one in
demographics.
Moulton as well, too, with students. Sometimes
Sure.
once they turn 18, we have a lot of summer jobs that they could do, save money
Yeah.
up for college.
And quite frankly, for some students, they might not go on to that 4-year or 2-year school. So guess
Right.
what? They need to start working.
Well, and right
You know?
now we're trying to get in front of the parents
Sure.
because oftentimes the kid doesn't want to work, maybe.
Right.
But if you go to the parent,
Yeah.
then they have a more vested interest in putting their child to work.
Correct.
So we're trying different marketing strategies to get to some parents to say, hey, we have jobs if your child is looking for work. That's why we participated in the things at the high schools.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily someone that we can employ today if they're not 18.
Sure.
But letting those parents know, hey, when you're ready to push your kid out the door to get a job, push them to us.
Yeah.
Because
I love-
we've got jobs.
Gentle nudge, right?
Yeah.
If you're tired of looking at that kid just laying on the couch all summer.
I know I want my 17-year-old daughter to get a job, and nobody's pushing her as
Yeah.
hard as I am.
Right.
She isn't pushing herself, so
I
that's
tell
where
you
I
what,
come in.
Yeah, and I often say this. My first job at 13 was selling Christmas trees, and then I landscaped, and I worked over
Yep.
40 hours a week.
Yeah.
And I'm not a stranger to working. It's just sort of what I've had to do. I mean, I still work here, and then I'll, tomorrow I'm emceeing a math tournament, and then I'll DJ and MC a football game on Sunday. So, I'm not a stranger to hard work. Okay, I want to talk about something that I didn't even really know what the deal was. So I know team staffing. I understand team staffing, Lake Park Boulevard, across from Happy Joe's. I know what you do. But then I've often, especially when I've been there, I've seen this TSI logo.
Right.
I always thought it was just another way of like abbreviating team staffing. I honest to God did.
Oh.
And I didn't even tell you that off the air, but that's what I always used to think, like, oh, that's just a way that they kind of abbreviate it. But it's not. It is.
It's a separate company for
Okay.
us. So we have two different companies. We have Team Staffing, and then we have TSI Enterprises. And Team Staffing is our temporary and temp to hire company. So if you're looking for a position where you might just work seasonally, maybe during the summer or over the winter, or just something to get you by, a weekend job, then Team Staffing can help you with that. And we're going to place you at a company where we're going to say that it's either temporary, that's this definition of time, or it's a temp to hire. And whether you get hired is going to be dependent upon your work ethic and your attendance and those things. So those would be the places like Raymond or Hahn or
Sure.
anything like that. And then TSI is our contract side. And anybody that comes to work and is employed through TSI is working at GPC.
Okay.
And those are permanent, long-term contract roles. And in those roles, you are eligible for paid vacation and holidays.
Wow.
We have a 401k. We have reimbursement programs for a fitness center, steel-toed boots, safety glasses. You
Jeez
can
Louise.
buy, we have life insurance available. So it is a permanent job,
Yeah.
and you're a contractor for the duration of your employment. We just had an employee. We have an employee this year in September that will celebrate our first 10-year milestone with GPC.
Excellent.
We had an employee who
You had somebody retire recently.
He retired.
I saw the cake, and that's where I was like,
Patrick Keeley.
like
yes.
the TSI, it's on a cake, so it's got to be okay.
Yes.
So he retired.
He had worked for us. Now, he hadn't worked at GPC for his entire career, but he'd
Sure.
worked down there for us for 7 years.
Wow.
Or no, wait. 9 years.
Fantastic.
He would have been at 10 years this October. So I actually tried to convince him to stay and hit that 10-year mark.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it's a great opportunity if you're looking for a permanent job with room to advance. The base pay rate is $18.55, and you have the ability to continue to earn beyond that. It's a very structured environment as far as you know exactly what it takes to progress in skill levels,
Sure.
which is how you get additional pay. So
It's fabulous. I mean, yeah, and there's the cake and
yes,
the
there's Patrick,
that's
and
so
then
cool.
that's Anna, who
Okay.
is the on-site. She works at GPC Monday through Friday from 6 to 4. I mean, ton of hours. Anna's a great addition to TSI. She's down there to communicate with the employees because they do work a rotating swing. They work 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and then 7 p.m. to 7 a.m.
That's intense.
And so,
Yeah.
you know, it's not easy for them to come into our office.
Right.
Which is why we have Anna down there. And Marcy has been helping a ton with recruiting for GPC for the
Okay.
positions, because we, as unique as it sounds, we also have temporary jobs there that we ultimately would place you on the team staffing payroll.
Gotcha.
But then the goal is that you work in a temporary role, prove yourself for people that maybe haven't had the best work history or
Sure.
track record, but we still feel like they deserve an opportunity.
Yep.
So GPC allows that opportunity to try and cultivate a good environment for them and see if it's a good fit. And
So then they would go
move
from
to TSI.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. So they could come in with the help of Marcy to GPC under the team umbrella, so
Yes.
to speak, and then all of a sudden they get brought into the fold under TSI. You talk about starting out at $18.55 an hour, and I mentioned this the other day when we had one of the team staffing job board openings. $18.55 an hour is another job, I think, but I was just like, that's change your life job for a lot of people. Right? I mean, you know,
Absolutely.
especially if there's folks out there that have maybe never crossed that threshold. They've always been in like that $10 to $12, $13 an hour range. All of a sudden you're talking $18.55, and then the potential to earn more
Right.
and have some of those benefits that maybe they've been lacking. Like
Right.
that's really
Absolutely.
exciting.
Well,
So
and health insurance is so important to people
Yes,
right now,
yes.
whether they want it or not. They, you know, because of
Right.
the guidelines and laws, and we do offer all of our employees across the board, whether they're team or team staffing, or TSI or team staffing, are offered health insurance.
This
But the
dark
employees
alcohol
at
and a whole bunch of
GPC
fees.
are
If I do
offered.
something
That's
wrong,
Derek
just know
Elliott.
Is somebody rapping right now?
So
What's
he-
going
yeah,
on?
so-
Okay.
When I started on the clean crew with the homies Larry, John, Truett, and Ray. Now I'm on the swing shift, switching nights and days. I have to put in good work so no one can replace me. Keep the good attendance and watch out for the safety. If there is a problem, it's gonna need a fix, and dial 4304 for Anna
No,
or
is that
Ron
his real
Dixon.
hair?
You
Real
need
hair.
I'm
me
more
to
impressed
settle
with his real
down.
hair.
I will cooperate,
Actually,
sir, so I can keep my job as an operator. It's operator
Rex.
Rexy
Yeah.
coming in with the
He's-
rap.
he's
Bits of
amazing.
facts
What's
come
more
out of
believable,
train,
Rexy
but I'm
Rex or
still on
Tony
the
Tone?
track.
You decide,
Me
friend.
doesn't
Exactly.
bother
I think
and my
they're both
boss,
so
that's
great.
Ellis.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing you could tell us,
So
cause we
he's
some
been
cool
rapping, he's been
fellas.
performing
We
for
the
us in
A
the
crew,
office.
come
Okay,
see
no
what
offense
we
to
be
Rexy Rex,
about.
but I think
That's
I'm
the
about
end
done
of the
watching
rap.
the
You
old
could
Rexy Rex
GPC
rap.
me.
All right. This is great. Jeez Louise. That is awesome.
Yeah, it
So-
is. It's fun.
Okay, so again, at this moment, so many opportunities available. It's important for folks to be proactive and reach out. And I guess, you know, you talk about communication in the same vein as that, asking questions about these various openings that you have so that people understand when they show up and they sit down. You know, I guess let me back up a step. So I'm John Doe. I see an opening at team staffing. I roll in. What happens from when I walk in the door? What's next?
You would, if you've never applied with us before, that would be the first thing that you would do.
Okay.
And then if you have, and it's been a while, you'd
Sure.
update your app, and then at that point we would do a walk-in interview.
Okay.
So they don't have to come back. We can get started, and then based off of what their work history is and what they have experience in,
Sure.
we go over some of our job positions, and like Charity said before, we may send them somewhere and it may not be the best fit, but that's just, we can potentially place them somewhere else. And so that's what's nice about it. But usually we can get something set up as long as they've never worked there before.
Sure.
We can usually get something set up, do an orientation that day, either start them that afternoon or the next morning.
And I also know that there's a lot of positions, and we talk about the same day stuff, and I'm sure that you have these companies that you work for that are like, I need 10 people tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Like, so when that happens, all of a sudden, I mean, you have the literal team in place to go after those needs, and you do it all the time. But I mean, that's got to be almost like an exciting challenge. How often does that happen where the employer says, we need 15 people tomorrow, 8 a.m.
Well,
and you're like,
this
all right.
week, more than once.
It happened more than once this week?
I mean, there's definitely a lot of openings. I mean, we do have, there are processes that we have to go through to get people to go to work. And, you know, all companies have, you know, different requirements.
Sure.
And some might require a drug screen or a criminal background check, or you to have a valid driver's license or high school diploma. So each company has its own set of parameters that we have to try to find a person and match them up. But I'm always telling people, it's, you know, this isn't like a game of darts where we just throw it at the wall and hope that it sticks. Like, we're really shooting for the bullseye there. Like, we're really trying to get somebody a job that's going to work the first time. But that doesn't mean that every job does that. Not every job is for every person. And I mean, it's, you know, I'm a huge fan of the Cubs, and so I'm going to get my plug in for the Cubs here. But it's like a position player. You know, Anthony Rizzo might be great at first, but it doesn't mean that he's great in the outfield. So that's what, I mean, we are trying to find a position. So we're trying to find it. We have our players, and now we just have to figure out where they can play. And then they need to play well with others while they're there, because that's what's going to keep them employed.
Yeah, and you want them to be successful. I mean,
do.
You do. It's, you know, as many people as you see and you talk to and you help out, you genuinely have a vested interest in them, you know, having a long-term position and bettering themselves.
Yes,
I mean, it's just,
absolutely.
That's just true. You
And
know,
the
there's
cost,
no other way to say it.
I mean, there's a cost to turnover, whether it's for us or for the employer. I mean, there's a cost to that, to the retraining. And most companies, they do have a training process. And so we're putting time, and they're investing time in someone. So, you know, we just expect the same return. I mean, we're not expecting more than what we're giving, really, which is just go to work, do what you're supposed to do, and, you know, hopefully that ends up being the last job that you ever have. Now, it might not be, which is why we're still there, you know, in case that it ends up being something that doesn't work for you. Which is, again, why we have, you know, we work with so many different companies and have a lot of unique opportunities. And you might come in and say you want a specific job, which, you know, it isn't like McDonald's where you can just drive up to the window and order anything you want. Like,
although if you had a drive-through job board,
then that may be different.
But you still, you know, it is, we are trying to match you. We want it to be a success. So we're like matchmakers.
A little bit.
It's so great. And
we're
you know
like
what?
coaches, matchmakers, counselors,
I guarantee you,
teachers.
You've helped somebody get a job at team staffing, and then at that job they met someone and now they're married.
Probably.
So you are matchmakers.
I mean, we have a lot of things happen in our building, and that could be one of them.
Yeah.
A hookup.
How much of a discount do you get at Happy Joe's since you're across the street?
We don't get a discount at Happy Joe's.
Oh, come on, Happy Joe Witty.
They don't ever even bring us free samples, but you know who brings us free samples?
Who's that?
Jimmy John's and Domino's.
Yes.
So let's give them a plug.
Okay, you just did.
And I have an employee, Blasik Wiley.
Okay.
He works for me at GPC. He's a more recent employee, and he used to work as the manager at Jimmy John's.
Excellent.
And he still does deliver for them, so he works part-time there. Because of his flexible schedule and the fact that at GPC he only works 4 days one week and 3 the next, he can still work at Jimmy John's. And Blasik is, you know Blasik, right?
Yes.
Great employee.
Yes.
And he still hooks us up with samples.
That's great.
Yeah. So thanks, Blasik. We really appreciate it.
Since you're here and I can get any questions I would have, we're going to do the team staffing job board right now.
Okay.
So control room operator. Again,
those are GPC.
This is one of those great jobs. $18.55 an hour, 12-hour rotating shifts, health, vacation, holiday pay, and it's just fabulous.
And it's a Wellmark insurance plan. So it's Wellmark Health Insurance. We have 2 plans available with different rates based upon what your needs are. You know, so I mean, it's a full-time. This is a permanent job.
Yeah.
It will last as long as you go there. I mean, you're either going to end that job because you choose to leave, or because you've done something, you know, maybe attendance-wise or performance-wise, it's going to end up ending your job. But truly, it is a permanent, full-time position.
That's fabulous. And you can call Marcy.
Marcy can help you out.
I mean, don't call her right now, although please
she's
call and leave a message maybe. 563-316-7640. Cleanup crew, $13.55 an hour, Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 3:30. Potential to become permanent TSI contractor with that pay increase again.
Yes.
So
So
is
those
this
are
an
also
example of a
Yes.
Team staffing getting you in the door at GPC and
Exactly.
then hopefully becoming TSI.
Yes, and
I got it right.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean,
Yes.
Marcy can explain like why you pay why it's $13.55 initially.
Because it's Monday through Friday and it's day shift.
Gotcha.
And so
Okay.
that's a lot easier to fill
Sure.
than someone working swings and then, the weekends.
Correct.
Every other weekend.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
that's
that
a
swing
little bit
schedule
easier
is-
to fill.
It's tough.
It can be tough. Yeah. Is that all we had on the job board? Perfect. Okay. Let's plug website, phone number, address, social media channels, whoever wants to do it.
You can.
Okay, so we are
I
at,
could do it, too,
We're
if
at
you want.
109 Lake Park Boulevard. We are across from Happy Joe's. Address or website www.teamssi.com. You can apply on our website. You can view our job openings. You can send us a message from there.
Sure.
You can reach us on Facebook. We're on Instagram. You can walk in our door. We're
Walk
open
in.
Monday
Yeah.
through Friday
Yeah.
from 7 to 5. There are occasional times where we might have extended hours during the week and on the weekend, but you can always reach us. You can message us. We have all of our jobs listed on Indeed.
Sure.
So there are multiple ways to get in touch with us for sure.
Absolutely.
There are the details right there, once again, on the old Facebook page. Charity and Marcy, thank you so much for coming on. First
Yes,
time,
thank
did
you for having
wonderful.
us.
Thank you.
I'm glad that we're able to decipher the difference between team staffing and TSI so folks understand. The moral of the story is you're putting people to work and you're helping them and better their lives, which betters, the local economy and just
Exactly,
has so
absolutely.
many benefits. It really it's great. Thank you for being here. I
Yes,
appreciate
thank
it.
you. Come on in,
Thank
stop
you.
by. We're open all
Easiest
day
part
today.
of your day, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I told ya. All right, so let's check in with the Toyota Muscatine car cam. Betsy is right over. Well, she's right behind us actually, and she's just gonna kind of take a little stroll. I asked her to go by the bakery and maybe take a look at those bakery fresh fried donuts because tomorrow we are kind of hooking up our friends with Rebuilding Together Muscatine County, who are going to be celebrating National Rebuilding Together Day, and they're getting a whole bunch of donuts from us. So shout out to my pal Frank Iliff and his team of volunteers that are going to be helping people stay in their homes with things like wheelchair ramps, modifying bathrooms. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
And just doing a lot of good work tomorrow. And I would say this, if you find yourself having some free time tomorrow morning, 1424B Hauser Street, you could show up in the morning, sign a waiver, and get to work. I love that my next guest brought cupcakes. Jody Royal Goodwin, Housing Administrator, City Muscatine, will let you get situated, clip a mic on, and we'll come right to you. And now Betsy is heading towards the meat department because, as Chef Tess pointed out, we've been having such wonderful weather that lighten up that grill. You said you've been just living off the grill. Is a good idea. Anything that you would recommend in terms of grilling for the Hy-Vee Today audience?
Well, I would have to shamelessly plug the shrimp boils and the other marinated items that we've been working on this week.
Okay.
So we've got, by the end of the day today, we're going to have sesame ginger marinated America's Cut pork chops, Gulf shrimp,
America.
America,
Thank you.
and salmon available in the meat department, as well as our shrimp boils, which are ready to go in an aluminum pan. You just add like a cup of beer or a stock or whatever you want, cover it in foil, throw it on your grill. Probably takes maybe 15 minutes.
That's it?
That's it. And it's delicious.
Wow.
It is so tasty.
Tell me what's going to be in that.
So we've got, let's see, there's lemon, thyme, garlic butter, Gulf shrimp, red potatoes, andouille sausage, and fresh sweet corn, which
Wow.
if you haven't tried the sweet corn that we're getting in, it's not local yet, but it is delicious.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I remember when you were putting some of these together a week or so ago, and the finished product just looks so good. That's like such a fun thing to do with your family or friends. And the fact that it only takes 15 minutes, how hot does the grill have to be? And let me follow that up with the second question. If I'm maybe don't have propane, can I just throw it in the oven?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. And then you're going to do your grill probably medium-high heat, around
Okay.
400 degrees,
Wow.
if you have a thermometer on the outside of it.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy.
Andouille sausage. Like, that's not a good New Orleans accent. Sorry.
Not at all.
Andouille I can't do it for some reason. Why are my impressions limited? I don't know.
Practice makes perfect.
If I don't get enough sleep, I can't do voices. Is that the thing? I would be a terrible TV animated voice guy. Anyways. All right, our next guest is the housing administrator of the city of Muscatine, Jody Royal Goodwin. Welcome back.
Thanks.
Wow, what's with the cupcakes? Is it my birthday? What happened? What's going on?
I just felt inadequate with the whole cooking conversation last time, and like I should bring something for you, refocus.
Yeah.
So it's the only skill I've got. You know, Dr. Dan made me feel a little, I got no skill, so cupcakes. That's
well,
what you
that
get.
Dr. Dan is a show off with his guitar. I actually saw him last night at the movie theater. You made these? These look like they came out of a bakery.
Yeah, and I feel a little guilty about the bakery
Don't
being
feel
back
bad.
there.
They can't really see it.
Let us
I
skip
don't think they can
breakfast,
really
I'd go
see
get a donut and make
But
it all up.
those look like you could get out of the housing business and start a bakery.
It never goes well when you do it that
Right,
way for
right.
me. It took me 3 tries on the caramel sauce last night. So
All right. Well, I appreciate that, and thank you very much for doing that. So you're here because, Jody, April, Fair Housing Month.
Mm-hmm.
As we close out the month of April, been celebrating the anniversary of the passing of the Fair Housing Act. Is that correct?
yeah, so what I was thinking is we could kind of talk about how housing impacts our community, because there are
Sure.
a couple of things coming up as well, but fair housing is a prime example of housing can impact a community. The rules, the laws, and the status of an availability of housing in a community, how it not only affects today and the next couple of years, but it can have long-term impacts.
Sure.
There was a study that came out this month regarding redlining. I don't know if the term is familiar to you or
No.
not, but so, you know, in the 1930s, we had the New Deal, and so they created this organization called the Homeowners Loan Corporation or something like that. It's changed names too many times since
Sure.
then, and I don't remember anything. So, but it was part of the New Deal era, and so, you know, in the 1930s, we were having the Depression, and so people were struggling with their mortgages. So they created this organization to help homeowners who were delinquent on their mortgages.
Okay.
And out of that came an assessment area. So they started to say these areas are high risk. These areas are actually hazardous.
Okay.
And what else was going on at that time was still a lot of segregation.
Okay.
So a lot of the areas that got hazard labels were low income and minority populations. So there was actually a study that came out this month about the long-term impacts of that. So the Fair Housing Act passed in 1968, and there was a lot of focus on housing different populations and that
Sure.
kind of thing. But what it shows is that those communities that were in the top 2 risk categories continue to struggle economically because of the wealth capacity that was limited
Sure.
in the 30s and 40s. So it's not just the things we do today that impact next week and next year, but they can impact 50 years from now.
I was going to say, so Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. gets assassinated in 68, kind of brings about the Fair Housing Act to, you know, stop discrimination and create equal opportunities. So, yes, I mean, that was in 68, right? So we're a few years past that. And it's still an important thing, and it's not really just an April thing to talk about fair housing and affordable housing options. But I mean, and in your role, obviously, as the housing administrator, I mean, you deal with a variety of things, but certainly having housing available for folks that can either, you know, afford the big house or the first house or just an affordable apartment,
Right.
that they can make that monthly payment. You know, it quite frankly, it seems overwhelming to me, but you seem to handle it very well. You obviously have a great staff that help, but I mean, that's a tough task to deal with every day.
Well, and our role is kind of limited. That's why the partnerships are so important.
Sure.
So partnering with MCSA, who's focusing on those most in need, and then looking at opportunities, you know, the home ownership program that we partner with the chamber on to move people into home ownership. We all know, I assume that, but there's a body of knowledge that says that home ownership helps stabilize communities, school districts, the whole bit. So there's a fine balance of where it is, and helping people get to their highest level of self-housing and self-sufficiency is the part we need to do. But we are not capable of doing that all by ourselves. I mean, we have to have a lot of partners. So we're always, you know, going to consortium and talking with all of the agencies that are, you know, out there, if it's workforce development, helping
Sure.
people develop skills, or MCC, again, helping people get skills, or MCSA, people who have lost everything and are
Right.
there. So it really is a team effort. And
Absolutely.
so that's what we focus on. So it is important that I have good staff and that we can have other good people in the community who are vested in that. So along those lines, one of the things we are doing is May 9th, we're going to have a continuation of about this time last year, we did a Poverty to Possibility presentation with Donna Beagle. And then now we're going to do pretty much the economics of housing. We're going to have a professor from the University of Iowa who actually speaks nationally. He's nationally renowned, and he is going to come and speak. He'll do 2 sessions, one at 7:30 in the morning and the other's at noon, I think.
And that is Dr. Jerry Anthony.
Dr. Anthony.
Wow.
Yeah, so he does a lot of research, but he'll specifically talk about how providing a healthy housing environment impacts our community economically and socially. So,
And it makes sense. Like, I certainly don't have a lot of knowledge about housing, but I can understand the importance of having quality jobs, having home ownership, and then everybody kind of being able to plug in and contribute to the local economy. And certainly, if we didn't have, and we just came out of talking about good jobs with the team staffing folks and right into housing, I mean, talk about 2 things that are so important, right? Because you got to have the options. And then, yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, folks that are in an apartment or in a rental situation, yes, being able to help get them into that home ownership, because we know that sometimes you can buy a house and have a mortgage payment that is lower than your rent was. Right? So all of a sudden now they have perhaps some extra money to then put back into the economy. So yeah, it makes
but helping them be
sense.
prepared for that, because if I go buy a house that's lower than my rent was, am I getting a really good deal, or is it just a really cheap deal?
Right.
So those are the kinds of things that we look at. Is not just, obviously our basis is making sure you have affordable housing through our voucher and our public housing programs. But when we do the other things, it's about making good choices. So, we have a renter education program to help them be good renters, to help landlords understand what their rules are, to make sure that relationship is healthy and they're practicing maintenance of a unit. Because what happens when you buy a house? Something breaks. Something always breaks.
True story.
You can hope it's just one thing.
Right. Yeah, sometimes it's that domino effect, isn't
Exactly.
it? Yeah.
And it's every year, and then it's the maintenance of it on the outside. It doesn't matter how many hours I have to work in the summer, I still have to mow my lawn. So do I really want a big lawn, or do I, kind of thing. So it's helping them make informed decisions and evaluate those options so that they can not encourage a new kind of stress.
Sure.
So it's all of those things, and to that end, we're working on putting together a financial literacy, soft skills, kind of helping you move up series of classes that will focus on everything from, let's start at, you're at the basics, budgeting and understanding how much money you have, to, okay, now I'm ready to go buy a house, or I need to start saving for a house, or I need to start saving for retirement, or whatever that is. So trying to help move people on again, because while I firmly believe that housing is the foundation, you can't really do much without foundation, and that's personally or the community, then we can't move on. And so now we want to talk about moving the community on, because the housing study that came out, we have about 750 truly affordable units in the community, but it says we need almost 1,000 more for people earning less than $25,000 a year. And that means that they could afford a rent or house payment with utilities of about $625 a month.
Sure.
So how do we get those?
How do we get 1,000?
All of those people, and that doesn't talk about people who earn the minimum under Social Security when they retire, because they can really afford about $250.
Wow. Jeez Louise. As you were talking, we pulled up some stats from 2017, and I wonder if we can come back to that and maybe get some comments and reaction from you, because the stats that we saw, there it is right there. So we're going to zoom in on that again. This is sort of the proof in the pudding, right? These are from 2017, and if you're sitting here watching this live or on the rebroadcast and you're thinking, yeah, that's great, but how can it help me? How can the housing administration, how can Jody and Chad and this crew help me? Look at these stats right here. 144 total households received what does that say? I can't see that. Homeowner counseling. Wow. 53 families completed the 8-hour class. 25 families purchased their first home in Muscatine County. It's got to make you feel pretty good.
It does.
I mean, and sometimes all it takes is reminding people that the assistance is there, the toolage is there, and the success stories are there, and they could be next.
Right.
Couldn't they?
Right.
They should
They
not
could.
feel discouraged because here you are to tell them that it
And we
happens
will
all
help
the
them
time.
be successful at it. You
Yeah.
know, the homeowner class, so it's an 8-hour class, and people are like, why do I have to take an 8-hour class? But I have rarely heard anybody, I didn't get anything out of that. I mean,
Yeah.
when I was putting together homeownership classes, I was like, wow, I didn't know all that, you know? And I was working in housing already. But then it's also, like, even in the housing crisis, there was like less than a 1% foreclosure rate for people who had finished the classes and gone through those assistance programs.
That's
So-
unbelievable.
So yeah, compared to, you know, and I was in Nevada at the time, so we're talking.
So when
Mega numbers.
when times were tough, that is proven
Muscatine
to
offers
just
a free
be
service
something that
providing
works.
you with a
And by the
nationally
way, is it homeowners, first-time homeowners, they do the class, 8 hours, $1,000 towards the down payment? Is that how that works? Sometimes.
It's a limited pool of cash, obviously, but and it's based on income. So
Sure.
you can't come in and I make $100,000 this year and I need $1,000
Where's
to
my
make closing
$1,000?
costs.
Yeah.
But so you have to income qualify, and then we have to have not run out of money yet.
But no, I think it's important to know that because, right, I mean, yes, you're able to help out with that down payment, but also just you're going to learn so much.
Just
no
the
matter where you,
information.
right, just the information. How do you put a price on 8 hours of information?
And at the same time, then you earn an advocate. You've gone through the class, and
Sure.
Chad will then advocate for you. Like Chad has actually gone and met with lenders
Mm-hmm.
and realtors to make sure that they're getting the right information and that it's solid. I mean, what we're giving is unbiased information, and so.
Okay, we're going to watch a little video that has some audio with it, so we're going to check
shut
this
up.
out. Yeah, maybe have a cupcake or two.
I have forks.
Does it have audio? It did. Okay. Well,
Best laid plan.
We're still understanding how important all of this is, and again, if you're the person that's in this category that you feel ready, but maybe you have questions that are unanswered, reach out, get them answered. You know, that's what you're there for.
That is what we're there
That's
for.
what you guys are there for every single day. I mean, maybe not Saturday and Sunday, but you know.
Chad's there on Saturday.
I was gonna say that is what you're there for. Again, from finding the right realtor to understanding just everything that you're gonna encounter. Yeah, please I just want people to understand that there's so many great resources in this community, and the work that you're doing, Jody, for the city and for housing. It's just, again, it's a lot to understand. But boy, I tell you what, you've made it a lot easier for folks. They just need to be proactive and not feel embarrassed, ashamed, whatever, to reach out.
Yes, just reach out. I mean,
Yeah.
we're here. We've always dealt with something worse than what's coming in our door, and and we're just here to help you move to the next step, whatever that is. And so, email, call, whatever works.
So as we sit here on Friday, the 27th of April, are there things coming up? Like, what's the rest of the next few months hold? Obviously, the event on May 9th. Are there different challenges that are ahead? Are there different events that you want to try? I mean, certainly you'll be back to update us, but I just wonder, like, as you start to plan out.
We're for our public housing folks, especially our families, we're having some summer events to help them gather information, provide information to them in a friendly setting, not just through the property management. We do have the May calendar. We're working on getting it on the website, but that's a little more complicated so that the links actually work because but if you contact our office, we will email it to you, your organization, whatever, because they're all hyperlinks. So you can go on there and get more information without being so overloaded by the information on there. We'll keep adding to that. We'll do a new calendar every month. Internally, like I said, the other things we're doing is for our public housing agency, and then in the fall, we're planning to have a fair housing training, actually.
Excellent.
So realtors would be able to come to that and get some of their continuing education requirements met, and Iowa Civil with civil something, will
I had the
provide
answer.
that
I just was waiting for you to fill it in. I mean, I don't want to steal your thunder. I don't know, but
My
yeah,
thunder
I
is
just-
really small. I just
Oh.
am happy to remember my name most days.
Same here. Same here. All right. What about a phone number for folks that want to contact
So
you?
if you want to contact our office, 563-264-1554. There's a series of, it's a phone tree, obviously, so
Sure.
just hit a number, you'll get some. We're on the website, our emails are there, so muscatineiowa.gov. Unfortunately, if you go under government, we're listed as public housing, but I'm working on that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but
it
again,
says housing, so
yeah,
maybe you'll
right.
guess.
You can find it. Trust us, friends. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And again, as we close up April, as that being labeled Fair Housing Month, it's something that you're working and advocating and fighting for to have year-round awareness.
Right.
Certainly, it's not like you are only there for a month helping people. It's all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. It's great
Almost
to see you again.
365.
I was going to say almost. Get a little bit of a break
Right.
occasionally to make cupcakes, of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
of course.
I'm very excited about that, by the way.
Right.
We
That's
need
good.
guests to bring stuff more often. Maybe that's the mandate, right? Right?
It depends on what stuff you want. So I figured Tess is giving you lunch a lot.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
give you dessert.
I appreciate
good.
that. Yeah,
Keep
I guess.
everybody healthy and happy.
Yeah,
Or not so healthy and happy.
Well, listen, I'm sure that those are Blue Zone's cupcakes, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All
Are
skinny
those
stuff.
paleo-
No calories in the stuff I make.
Those paleo cupcakes? I don't even know what that means.
I don't wanna know.
Yeah, I don't want to know either. Cupcake's a cupcake. All right, let's check back in with Chef Tess if we could, because she is currently getting ready to rock some andouilles. And are you going to eventually chop that? What are you doing to that andouille? Right, meow.
Half, and then I will cut them down, but I need to look at the recipe because I can't honestly remember how many pieces I need to cut each link into.
Okay.
So that's why I'm not doing that right now.
Is
but
that andouille sausage spicy or savory?
a little bit of both? It's not super spicy. I mean, I could eat this on like a hot dog bun and not think that it was hot.
Whoa.
So I don't know.
Why does it look slimy?
What's that?
Why does it look slimy?
Slimy?
Is that just how it's packaged and preserved?
It's in a casing, just like any other sausage.
okay,
So it's
okay.
kind of like it's got like a luster to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I just noticed that. I'm like, it's like glowing over
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know if it was like special andouille sausage. And again, everything, now granted, Chef Tess is preparing things that you can come here to Hy-Vee, you can purchase them, take them home, put them on the grill, put them in the oven. But if you want to do what Chef Tess is doing and create your own boil, you could get all the stuff right here. Ooh, now that looks like some good seasoning. What is that?
Old Bay.
Oh my.
It's like an all-purpose seafood seasoning.
How that looks like it's the oldest seasoning ever.
It does.
Is that
They,
just the
like-
packaging?
It
I love
is.
that.
It looks just like that on the shelf today.
Wow.
So.
Can I smell it?
Yeah.
Let me get a smell.
Let me get a good smell.
It just looks like we had some. Wow, look at that Old Bay.
Just like you can almost like smell shrimp. when
You can. Perfect for crab, shrimp, and chicken. Wow, this is great. Same great. So they've been in business for 75 years. I just wish that they would put an E on the end instead of a Y, so it'd be the real Bay.
Stop it.
Right? The real Bay. Okay. Yeah, I'm so happy that it's Friday. We are coming into an extremely busy week next week with the company-wide Taste of Hy-Vee and the springtime party. So here at the store, there's going to be a lot going on next week. When you come into the store on Monday, there will be a giant tractor parked in our produce department. And then on the other side of the store, we'll have a vehicle from Bug Soother. So that's going to be pretty fun. We also have events, giveaways, Adventureland tickets, autographed stuff from Tim Dwight. You saw that happen yesterday. Bobby Hansen.
Recipe.
Chuck Long gave us
I
some
need to-
signed copies of his book. We're doing
Yeah.
bingo this coming Monday
make my own copy
in
of
the
it.
Market Grill Express. That starts at 5:30. That'll be a good time. I'm expecting a big crowd. Next Saturday, the 5th, we have a Meet the Heroes event. So we're going to talk a lot about this next week. We'll also be chatting with some of our local vendors as well. So if we do look ahead Monday, while she is not a local vendor, she is connected to a great event. Shannon Abel will join us again with Senior Resources because the Pearl City Picnic is also happening next week. That's on Saturday, May 5th. On Tuesday, we'll will chat with Lieutenant Christian and Brooke Lopez from the Salvation Army. Their civic dinner's coming up. We'll also chat with John Jenkins from Sinclair Tractor. I told you we're going to have a tractor. Well, it's going to come from Sinclair. It's going to be parked in produce. That's going to be kind of fun. Wednesday, we'll have guests from Wilson's Apple Orchard, and then I'm excited about this, Craig Smith. He's one of the bosses at Sturgings. He will get me to say it right. Craig Smith from Sturgings. You know, the fun chips. Sturgings. And I guess they make popcorn, too. I didn't know that I guess I knew that they made popcorn. I've just never had Has anybody here on the show had the Sturgings popcorn? Okay. All right, so hopefully when Craig's here, we'll have some samples because, you know, we have it on the shelf. So if you're watching at the Sturgings.
That's how we've always said it.
Okay. So you're saying that I'm saying it wrong.
I am not saying it.
Okay. Maybe a little different with how I'm saying it. I have something in my eye all of a sudden, and I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's because I'm tired. All right. So, yes, tomorrow is Saturday. I will be hosting the math tournament. I know when you think math, you think Tony Tone. Thank you. I will be at the Merrill Hotel, downtown Muscatine. That starts at 9:30 a.m. as we celebrate some fifth graders along with Count Fast. Thanks to Dan Stein and Daniel Wong for asking me to MC that tomorrow. Should be a great time. And then I'll throw a shameless plug in for Muscatine Riverhawk Semi-Pro Football. Final regular season home game is this Sunday. They play on the turf field at Muscatine High School. Kickoff is at 2 o'clock. I'll be there as well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to mention. I do want to thank Charity Garrison and Marcy Metzger with team staffing for joining us. They've got over, realistically, like 2,000 people at work throughout Muscatine. That's impressive. They're located on Lake Park Boulevard, right across from Happy Joe's. Get yourself a job. And thanks to Jody Royal Goodwin, Housing Administrator with the City of Muscatine. A lot of stuff going on. If you need help, you have questions, you want to improve where you're at, or you just want to know the process of buying a house, and maybe it's just like a foreign language to you right now, pick up the phone. That's what people are here for. You know, so again, sometimes, and I'm guilty of this too, sometimes we let our ego get in the way, or I don't know, we don't want to make these calls or these asks for help. It's not even really help, it's just access to information, right? It's like asking people what they do, you know, that's what they're good at, right? Like Chef Tess, if I wanted to know how to not burn corn or not ruin a steak, things that I've done. I burnt bacon one time. I could ask Chef Tess. She's my coworker, she's my friend, and you could, so that's what I'm saying, like no matter what it is, there's people out there that are always willing to help, and you are just rocking some corn right now. Yeah.
On that note, did you know that that's how I met Chad, was through that homeownership program?
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's how I met him. So I actually went through the classes that you're talking about, and they helped me out with my down payment on my house.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Wow, the circle of life.
Yeah, and here we are.
I just want to hold up a baby lion on a mountaintop because that's wonderful, everybody.
Sing the song, do it.
That's right. I don't know if we can sing it without like the royalties companies coming after us.
Oh, okay. Let's not do that then.
Yeah. Spoiler alert from Avengers Infinity War. Simba shows up and he angry. They're all Disney properties now. Pinocchio could have came tap dancing in. Hey, guys, what's up?
I'm a real boy.
Right. Pinocchio kills Thanos. Movie ruined. Does not happen. Okay, that's it, I think. So thanks for watching. Catch the rebroadcast on Muscatine Power and Water Digital Cable Channel 5. And we have a fun week ahead of us. Like I said, it's very busy. Adventureland tickets, you heard me say that, right? Those things are like gold in this town. 4 Adventureland tickets could be yours. It's worth like $120. I think Adventureland is $40 a pop to get in, so we're saving you some money for sure. And yeah, and please come and see us, whatever you need throughout the course of the weekend. We've got you covered from fuel savings to more. It's all right here at your Muscatine Hy-Vee. Thanks for watching. Hy-Vee@gmail.com. Use that email address. Reach out, say hey, and I'll see you Monday live at 8:30 right here. Have a great weekend. Weather should cooperate, and don't be afraid to light up that grill. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Thanks for watching Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone. We'll do it again tomorrow with more local guests from in and around the Muscatine community. Questions, comments, know a great guest? Reach out to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone on Facebook or via email hyveetoday@gmail.com.
Hy-Vee shoppers got 4 awesome deals for you today. In the produce department, I've got fresh Jerusalem blueberries, just $2.99 for a 6-ounce box. That saves us $2 a box on that. I've also got fresh California strawberries, just $5.99 for a 2-pound box. That also saves us $2 a box on that. We've got fresh little cauliflower, just $1.99 a head. That saves you $2 on that also. And I've got some jumbo size honey crisp apples, just $2.99.